Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Tower of God New World. Now in today's video, I'm going to share with you guys a brand new red element team that I have been using, and this team is of course going to involve the brand new SSR plus character Awakened Rack. So this team comp, I did not create it. A viewer in my Awakened Rack guide video recommended me this team comp. I'm going to go ahead and put their comment right up here, but credit to this person, they're the one who pretty much recommended me this team, and it is actually pretty nice in arena. For PvE, maybe, I don't know, but for arena, this team is actually pretty nice to use. But before I get started on the video, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. I really appreciate it. If you guys are new here on the channel, I have a Discord server, so if you guys are interested in joining, I'll post a server link in the comment section down below that you guys can join up. But anyways, let's not waste any time, let's go ahead, hop right into the video. Alright, in this team comp, of course, it is going to include Awakened Rack. Awakened Rack is going to be your main tank unit, and of course, you want to use the defense set on him because he can proc provocation, so he's going to receive that additional magic and physical resistance. And you want to make sure that you get at least a decent amount of copies on Awakened Rack, at least like 3 green stars. He's still good with no copies, but just to get that additional durability stacks for his passive, you want to get as much copies on Awakened Rack as much as possible. Now for the next unit, it's going to be Xia. Now Xia, she is really important in this team because when we look at her passive, she is going to increase all allies attack and if they're red element. So she is definitely crucial to the red element team comp because that 32% attack increase is going to be very beneficial to this team. So you want to make sure that you have your Xia at least 3 red stars. And then the ignition weapon you want to use on her is of course the swiftness set, the Doris set, because it's going to increase her swiftness and she's going to apply a barrier to one of your allies in the back row. So Xia, second character you want to use. Now for the next unit, it's going to be Red Mask Qua. Red Mask Qua is a no-brainer unit, absolutely amazing sub DPS unit. She's going to focus on stunning enemies, and at the same time she's going to focus on pretty much doing damage, which is going to be really nice overall. Red Mask Qua, definitely want to pick her up, and of course you want to use the Bergamot set. But if you want to build up her stacks to make her do that insane attack speed, you want to use the eel set, only the 2-piece set. For the eel, you want to use the 2-piece eel set, and you want to use the 2-piece Bergamot so that you can get that additional attack speed to build up her stacks, and then you want to use Bergamot for the additional lifesteal. So that's pretty much Red Mask Qua. Now for the next character, it is going to be Support Hua. Support Hua, simple character. Make sure that you have the Runda set on her so that she can apply the barrier to everyone on the team. And the whole point of not Red Mask Hua, I almost got the two mixed up, but the whole point of Support Hua is to pretty much apply the mark on the enemy so that your allies can do additional damage because of the additional attack and crit. So definitely want to use Support Hua in this team, really important. And then of course the last character is going to be Vicente. Now Vicente, if you guys haven't watched my Awakened Rack video, you guys might be questioning, well, I thought you said that Vicente doesn't work well with Awakened Rack because of imprisonment. Well, imprisonment is like a double-edged sword. Sometimes it doesn't work with Vicente, but sometimes it actually does. So I'm willing to take that chance, and imprisonment can actually benefit Vicente because after Vicente tries to one-shot the enemy that he teleports, if he's not able to one-shot that enemy target might instantly one-shot Vicente. So Awakened Rack is going to imprison that enemy before that enemy can do anything to Vicente. So the imprisonment skill that Awakened Rack has is actually pretty good with Vicente. Sometimes it doesn't work because he activates the imprisonment before Vicente can do the one-shot, but most of the time Awakened Rack activates the imprisonment to the enemy of the highest attack, which allows Vicente to get away from the enemy and actually survive if he's not able to one-shot. So Vicente definitely going to be like your main DPS unit in this team, and of course you want to use the Rihanna set because he can one-shot. Alright, so this is how you want to build your formation. You want to make sure that Xia is in the back with Vicente, because if Vicente is not able to one-shot the enemy with the highest attack, Awakened Rack is going to imprison them, and then after the enemy is free from the imprisonment, Xia is going to focus on attacking that unit with the highest attack, and she can probably finish them off. And you want to put Support Hua with Red Mask Hua up front so that they can, support Awakened Rack. And we're going to go ahead and enter this fight. So Vicente might drag in Joaquin or Yiwa. It depends on who has the highest attack in the enemy team, but I am hoping that he targets Yiwa because Yiwa, when she gets her ultimate, it's wraps. So we're going to go ahead and enter battle, and Let's see what happens. Hopefully he drags in Iwa or Joaquin. Just eliminate one of them. So we're gonna wait for this to load up. All right, so we're gonna put this in slow motion so that you guys can clearly see what's going on here. So Vicente brought in Kun Aguero. Now sometimes I really don't understand why Vicente targets some of these units who have like a lower, like I don't get that sometimes. Like that definitely has to be some sort of bug. I don't understand. But Vicente targeted Kun Aguero. Now I don't know why. So if we're gonna come over and check Yiwa's weapon, okay, she's using Runda, and what set is she's using a Dora set. It would have been really nice if they gave us the opportunity to pretty much check our opponent's stats, but we can't do that, which is really annoying. So I don't understand why Vicente decided to drag in Kun Aguero when Iwa or Joaquin probably has the highest attack, but it's probably because of his level, because he's level 326. So that's probably the reason why. But it's kind of crazy how a support unit can have a higher attack than, you know, a DPS unit. That's kind of crazy. So that's maybe the reason why Kuna Vicente dragged in Kun Aguero, because he is level 306. But even though he targeted Kun Aguero, we still won that fight, which is really nice. So let's go ahead and try another attempt. So let's see who else we can fight here. So this person is level has 749 power. So Vicente is definitely going to target Vile, but we do have to be careful with that Kaseya. That Kaseya is definitely going to be dangerous. So, and he also has a rainbow that is a hard. There's going to be some fights that you can't win with this team comp depending on the enemy's level. But let's go in and check somebody else, because I feel like we're not going to win that. I know that we're not. So let's see if we can actually find somebody else. Okay, this person has 480 million power, and I have 583. All right, so this is the team that this opponent is running. They're running a Yiwa with Yellow Element Rack. That is actually kind of interesting. They're running Rack, which is really weird. So I don't know about that, but they also have a rainbow that is a heart. So let's see what happens here. We're going to go ahead and enter battle. Now I'm 100% sure that Vicente is going to target Iwa. If he targets Iwa, W. We win this whole match. So let's see what happens. All right. Is he going to bring in Iwa? He brought in Data Zahard instead. So that's literally what I'm talking about. Is you definitely want to be careful when it comes to Vicente. Like, you want to make sure that Vicente is always trying to target the enemy with the highest attack, because if he doesn't, you're just gonna waste your time trying to focus on, you know, other units that, you know, you can't really eliminate with Vicente. So that is definitely like a weakness to this team comp, is you want to be careful as of to who Vicente targets. Sometimes he's going to target, you know, tank units, which is really kind of weird considering how, you know, tank units shouldn't have a higher attack than a DPS unit, but you know, it is what it is. So you definitely want to be careful. And I'm actually glad that happened, because, you know, not every single team comp is going to be, you know, not every single team comp in this game is going to be, you know, able to defeat every single opponent in arena. Sometimes you're going to lose and sometimes you're going to win. So for that interaction, we targeted Data Zahard, which was kind of weird. But hopefully for this fight, now this opponent has rainbow stars on Escanor, rainbow stars on a lot of characters. So hopefully we can actually get rid of Iwa or Joaquin. So we're going to go ahead and enter a fight right here. Now we are at a huge disadvantage because of elemental. Like, we have red element and the enemy has blue element, and blue element is stronger than red element. So hopefully that doesn't get in the way, but let's see what happens here. All right. So who's he going to bring in? All right, so he brought in Iwa. Perfect. So now Vicente is going to target Joaquin. Absolutely perfect. And then Escanor is the only one remaining. That's an instant W. So this team is really, really nice. Like, it is a really nice team when it comes to eliminating the opponent very, very quickly. But the thing is, you do have to be careful as of to, you know, which opponents you're fighting, because we were really lucky here. Iwa was the unit with the highest attack. So hopefully later on in the future, in like a future update, that Marble can implement an update where we can actually check our opponent's stats, because that will be extremely helpful. And it can pretty much help me decide, which team comp I should use. Because let's say Escanor had the highest attack. If Escanor had the highest attack, it would have been over. We would have lost the fight. So, hopefully in the future update, we can actually check our opponent's stats. But we were actually able to eliminate Iwa automatically, and then we eliminated Joaquin with Vicente's special move, which is really nice. So my overall thoughts on this team comp, it's really interesting. It is a pretty decent team comp. Definitely nice the fact that Red Element is doing pretty good so far. So if you're looking for a PvP team, this is definitely pretty decent PvP team to use for sure. Now when it comes to adventure mode, now if I exit over here and we enter adventure mode real quick. Now if you guys haven't watched my Awaken Rack video, I did some runs with Awaken Rack in adventure mode, and one thing that I talked about is the fact that when you're using this team comp in adventure mode, the thing about this team comp is when you're dealing with units like Flight Uric Mazino, Flight Uric Mazino is an absolute menace in adventure mode, so you definitely have to be careful with this guy. He is absolutely annoying. But in adventure mode, this team does lack when it comes to DPS, so you definitely want to use like another character. Let's say Flight Uric Mazino can actually deal some pretty good damage, so you also want to use like another DPS unit like Vile, for example, because I feel like Vicente as like your main DPS unit by himself is just not going to be enough to get rid of units like Flight Uric Mazino. So I'll say for adventure mode, you definitely want to readjust the team in adventure mode and add like a double and add like 2 DPS characters. Red Mask Qua, she is a decent sub DPS unit, but not like a main DPS. So you definitely want to add in another main DPS unit alongside with not Vile but Vicente, so that you can deal some pretty good damage. So if you have a Vile who is at 3 red stars, you definitely want to use him in this team comp. I feel like it's definitely going to be nice overall. But I'm going to go ahead and show you guys an example. So we're going to put in Gia just so that you guys can basically see what I'm talking about. So we're going to enter battle, and you guys are going to see how we're going to get whooped by this team in adventure mode. We're going to get absolutely annihilated. Flight Uric Mazino is just insane. So let's go ahead and put this in 2x speed and just watch this. As you guys can see, we couldn't even one shot on one of the enemies. Awaken Rack was able to imprison them, but it's just not enough damage. And yeah, you definitely have to put like a secondary DPS unit to pretty much do a lot of damage, because Vicente is just not enough. But when it comes to PvP, this team is actually pretty nice overall. Like, I've been testing it a lot, and it's a nice team. It won't work in every single situation, but if you're trying to use a Red Element team comp, I will say this team definitely has potential, and it can really carry you far in arena PvP. But that's pretty much all I have for you guys in this video. Shout out to person who recommended this team comp. Shout out to you. But yeah, really nice team comp. Definitely recommend you guys to try this out, and you can also try this out in trial area as well, because Red Element trial area, it was really hard because we were lacking a red tank unit. But the fact that we have Awaken Rack now, you guys could easily breeze through Red Element trial area now because of Awaken Rack. So overall, I'm really happy the fact that Red Element is finally getting a lot better. Awaken Rack is definitely an awesome unit that you guys should just not skip on. Really good unit to invest on. And yeah, really solid team comp. But I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope this video is able to help you guys out. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. I really appreciate it. I will catch you guys on the next one.